What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video, the first video in a couple weeks. We're gonna intro the video while I'm putting this trim on because we got to get some stuff done today. Now, in this video today for you, over the past couple weeks for me, so you guys are gonna see kind of what I've been working on the past couple weeks, just like while I'm here talking to you, and I'm gonna put this on, and then we'll continue with what I have left to do on the car. So the past couple weeks have been pretty crazy, and I guess while I'm doing this, give you the quick hack on your windshield trim. See these little clips right here as they go down. Basically, you just want to like start from. I kind of forget how I did that. I pulled the bottom off, so you want to hook the top on and then push that down. These are also really hard to move back and forth once you get on there. So do that. And I don't know how successful I'm going to be with like talking to you guys while we're doing this, but we're gonna try. Anyways, if you're not a member of the Patreon, you should become a member of the Patreon, because I was posting some stuff on the Patreon while I've been working a bunch. And for those of you that are new to the channel and following along with all the stuff here, I have a day job. I'm an engineer, civil engineer, and we had a couple things that need to get done at work. Okay, this isn't going to happen while I'm on the camera with you. Anyways, we had a couple of things that needed to get done at work over the past couple weeks. Some deadlines. Had to stay late. Worked a ton of hours. And I really didn't work on the car at all, which kind of sucked. So, you know, for now, the work job takes priority over this job. And we get more people watching these videos. We'll do this all the time. So, what do we have left on the car in this video that you guys are going to see get done? I got to put the oil cooler and the radiator in. You saw in the one last video, or this, that, and the other, I got the radiator. I just jammed it in there, said it was good. It wasn't good. Actually, I had to move the lower pieces of the radiator mounts. So I cut this off, slid it up, notched that out, moved the oil cooler up and in front of the radiator, and then I'm going to go ahead. I need to put the oil cooler brackets on, drill those final holes. The oil cooler mounting brackets, the new ones that I made. Just two super simple pieces of, flat steel that I had laying around. Reason being, here's your RX7 tip of the video, super hack for race car stuff. When you're shopping for RX7 radiators, okay, there's 2 or 3 different ones. I think there's actually 3, but the first and the last one could be the same. So, a 1979 RX7 has a front mount oil cooler. 79 and 80, they have a big front mount cooler just like this. Those radiators are shorter, and the oil cooler mounts to the bottom of the radiator. So, it would go right in here, okay? From 81 to 83, the cars had a beehive oil cooler. And then also your 12A cars from 84 to 85 had a beehive oil cooler. So those radiators are taller because they don't have to have the normal oil cooler on them. The beehive oil cooler sits back here on this oil pedestal. Oh, other trim in the way. And where it's at on the pedestal, it picks up coolant from the heater hoses and cools the oil off that way, kind of its own little heat exchanger back here. Those radiators are the tallest. They share the same mounting points, thicker. In 84 and 85, your GSL SE model, which is like this one, the one that came with the 13B, would have also had a front mount oil cooler mounted to the bottom of the radiator. So those radiators are shorter. So if you kind of paid attention the last 2 minutes, 79 and 80 radiators, 81 to 85 radiators, and 84, 85 radiators. They're all different heights. So for this car, I bought the tall radiator and went ahead to put it in here. Well, you also know on 13B cars that the subframe is a little bit different and the motors sit further forward, right? Because it's 13B, 20 centimeters or 20 millimeters longer, 2 centimeters thicker of an engine because of the 13B. So everything's forward. Well, when I put that radiator in this car, because it's forward and down lower and this, that, and the other, the line was hitting the engine mount, the lower radiator tube. So I had to kind of fan wangle some things to get that done. Now, the other thing too, don't let this deter you from buying that radiator necessarily for your car if you want to do the upgraded radiator and you have a 13B. What I will say is that this car has had some front end altercations, and I wouldn't doubt that the actual core support of it or whatever, just I mean, it's not whole bunch. I really don't think it's pushed back, but you know, it's hit a tree once or twice. It's a race car, and I don't know how much of an effect that had on it, right? So that's kind of where we're sitting at for now. The car does run. I just got to finish buttoning that stuff up. So enjoy getting that done. The windshield trim on this side looks so good, and I'm so stoked with how that came out. I got new clips, got clips off my parts car. I'll have a video dedicated to removing the windshield trim from one of these cars when we work on the blue car, because I have to put a windshield in that car. So get stoked for that. I'm just happy, 100% happy to be back in the shop tonight, back working on the car. You know, like I said, it's been as many days as I haven't posted a YouTube video, I haven't been in the shop. So I'm stoked to kind of get back to where I left off and get this thing put back together. And the dog's stoked too, right, dog? You stoked? You happy we're making videos again? Back working? Give me a high five. Yeah, double high five. Awesome. So we are going to rip the car one more time before I detail clean it to get it submitted to bring a trailer, because I want to make sure it's good. I got to fix a little brake run leak. Just, it's got to be good. I got to have a video proof of it running, cold start, hot start, you know, all the things that people who aren't Rotary owners like to question you on when you try to sell a Rotary car, and I will have a compression test for it as well. So get stoked, guys. We're going to crank this stuff out. We'll get this car fired back up here in a second. And, yeah, the satisfactory montage of epic trim on this car. It looks like $1 million. This is the one that sucks. I'm just saying, that's freaking on there. I'll turn my music down for this commentary. This piece is on here good. So these are the used clips from the silver car, because you can't get them new for like reasonably not $15 a clip right now. So just have two. Dang. That piece is on there. These other clips I got online from Atkins Rotary. So you got to put that little center piece on there. So the little center piece goes in the middle. This slides into that on both sides. Then you got to hook it in out here on the end as well. So this piece right here goes over the top of that one. Let me tell you what, fellas. There's not much of a sound better in a car, guys, domain than fresh plastic clips just snapping together like that. So stoked. Mega. Heck yeah. Look at that trim. Door seals, don't worry, I'm taking that junk off. I don't like how it looks. It's like a bird crapped on my car. Probably had a bird in the shop. Guys, it looks so good. So good. Okay, cooling system, fixed brake line leak, drive car.
How do you identify the hits? How do you find the people wearing the red hats before you waste all your time and energy?
My dudes, we are ready to fire this thing up. Get stoked. So, everything's all in up there, as you just saw. And let's see if, you know, we've been having all sorts of fun fuel injection issues with this beast. And I'm real close to just trying to find a carburetor for it, but it is what it is. Yeah, dog? You sad? You don't think it's going to start? No? It's going to start. Ready, folks? Of course it starts. got good oil pressure, making voltage. We got fuel, because we have a fuel gauge in this car. The yellow rally car didn't have a fuel gauge. The add coolant light is on because they idling for me. The wire's not hooked up, so I'll get that hooked up at some point or just ground it out. Probably hook it up for real. Look out. I don't want to wait. Gotta love the nice smooth stock port, 6-port. Gotta love it. Alright, so we're gonna come back when this thing's all warmed up, and I'll bleed the coolant, make sure that that's all good, give you a little hot start. Alright, my dudes, this thing has been running for quite a while, okay? Barely showing anything on the temperature gauge, as you can't see, but we are like past the 2 notches, so not quite to the middle, but just it's barely creeping up. And we've got good oil pressure the whole time, dual gate's working, everything's working, you know, like it should. We got no leaks currently. The little drip you see there is from me pouring stuff on the ground like a dummy, and it's just been sucking a little bit down here and there. So get stoked for that. It's crazy that like how effective these clutch fans are. I'm telling you. What time is it? 9:40, 9:45. I sent a message of it running on Instagram at like 9 o'clock. It's just been purring away. Pretty much dead smooth. No shakes or quakes or anything weird. No smoke. No nothing. So, currently, dang, it's stinky back here. No cat life. Currently just running regular premix in this. And then, dang, got a whiff of that exhaust. It's all smelly. For now, so. Whatever, but, I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cap this baby off. Overflow hose on. And let's before we end the video, we gotta shut it off and start it again, right? Also, tonight I went ahead, you see that the roll cage is white again. I went and peeled off all the vinyl I had put on there. I thought it was gonna look good, keep it from getting nicked up, and it looked like crap, so I took it off. Guys, this thing sounds so good. Look at that, it caught itself and everything. Okay, so because it's fuel injected, this is a notorious GSLSE thing that when you do shut them off, the injectors tend to kind of drip a little bit of extra fuel in there, thus making it like flooded and hard to start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this thing at like 3,000 RPM and then I'm going to shut it off, and that should kill the injectors, let the engine idle down, not drawing any fuel to keep all the fuel out of the engine. And then when I go to restart it, it should fire it back up. So let's see how this works. Okay, so now it's off. And it's hot. Main power on. I'm probably going to have to like catch it with the throttle once it first hits. And this is more so to figure out, you know, for the next owner, make sure you know how to start your car. Key on, crank. So, you'll hear it settle right back into its idle, right? Foot's off the pedal. There you can see. Okay, so what I did there, and I'm going to try to repeat it here in a second, and this is like EFI 101 for old rotaries. If you have a GSLSE, if you have a FC, if you have whatever, and you're having flooding issues, this is what you got to do to compensate for it, okay? And the other thing, this engine really only has maybe 5 to 6 hours of runtime on it. It's a brand new, I built it right when I put this car together a long time ago the first time. So let's see if it does again. Alright, so, and to explain what I did again, just like I was saying a second ago, when you crank it, okay, no throttle input at all. As soon as you hear the spark plugs fire and try to kick the engine over, then you got to kind of catch it with your foot. You know, you don't want to like stab it, but just give it a little bit of throttle, and then you should be able to rev it through so it doesn't flood out. Because it will flood if you probably just crank it. At least, I don't know, we can find out in a second, but I want to see if I can repeat it, you know? Settling right back in. Okay, so it repeatedly starts. Okay, so now let's just try the, hey, I didn't rev my car, and I'm just going to turn it off and see if it starts again. So we shut it off. I'm not going to give it any fuel, and we're going to see if it'll start without any aid of the throttle. Maybe. If it doesn't start, we're ending the video. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video because I don't think it's going to restart right now. And that, my friends, is how easy it is to flood your GSLSE RX7. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Apologize for the delay in videos, but hey, you know, life and stuff. We're getting this thing ready to get on, or it's late. We're getting ready to get this thing ready for Bring a Trailer, ready to get sold. Obviously, the how-to tutorial on how to turn off and turn on your car so that it starts every time will be included. And guys, I'm stoked. I'm stoked to be back working on this. I got a couple weeks here where I can focus up on the car. And as you saw, the engine bay just looks so proper in this thing now. Nice big aluminum radiator, looking clean, looking fresh. The car, it's still surreal to see this in my garage and to come out here and, you know, tinker on it, because this was the one, guys. This is like the coolest RX7 that pretty much ever existed. Is the original car of this. And notice I didn't say first gen RX7. I said the coolest RX7 is this one. The original one. This one's like second best, right? Maybe. But the original one's first best. Peace, guys.